What's up, dudes? The Finalmouse Starlight-12. I'm Lord Gertrulo. Welcome to Zorz Gaming. Zorz Gaming, we talk about everything that's Zorz. And that's what we're going to do today, is find out, is Finalmouse Zorz? The company has tremendous controversy surrounding them. Their marketing campaign is extravagant, to say the least. Oh! Behold, are you a free thinker too? Personally, I kind of dig it. I think it's pretty ballsy. They also make products that are undeniably exceptional. There's no way around it. It is the most coveted mouse, no matter what anyone says. They are extremely expensive. They are extremely hard to get. They're basically not even possible to get unless you do some terrible decision making on eBay. But are they worth the price tag? Are they worth the hassle of trying to get? Would you sell your soul to get one? I've been doing this a long time. When I saw Hexen, you guys will have to Google that, I was hooked, and I was there when the first gaming mouse came out. I have it. It was pretty cool. I was pretty content with my Ultralight 2. I was more than content, actually. I think the mouse was phenomenal. The build quality, the weight, the size, it stole my heart, so I bought two of them. Now, it was a little bit too narrow for me, hence the Infinity skins. And they tricked me. They tricked me and said it was the last mouse they're ever gonna make. And then they announced this. I mean, come on. For those that don't know, these are made out of magnesium alloy. They have a completely different feel. They are extraordinarily light, and they are wireless. You know, wireless was a myth when I grew up. It was just not even remotely possible, especially if you were playing to win. And I used to play Counter-Strike to win a long time ago. I damn near broke my ankle sprinting to the car where I left my credit card to try to get one of these at 4 o'clock when it was released. In a shocking turn of events, I managed to. I was unbelievably overjoyed, as nothing could mean more in my life than buying this mouse. Unfortunately, as I was showing my dad, telling him, because he plays games too, and I was showing him how Zorz this thing is. If you want it to be the lightest mouse in the whole world, it's this one. The medium weighs about 7 grams more.
Wow.
Which is not that much.
No, it's nothing at all.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, that is cool.
$220 or $600 on eBay.
Right.
Yeah. A couple hours later, the right click broke. It was a real tragedy. So I had to get another one. I had to get the medium one because I had to check the size difference, even though I've been playing with the Ultralight 2. We're gonna find out, is this thing worth it? It might not be, but it might be. Here we go. It's a little guy. There's the medium guy. There's the Ultralight 2. There's a little Achilles over here. Pretty much at this point, you could say I'm a final fan. Weight-wise, there's nothing like this. Sorry, that's just the way it is. This thing is ridiculously light. The balance is good. The sensor position is good. I haven't had any crazy issues, but I will say the liftoff distance on this copy, particularly, is so low that you have to, if you're used to doing a lot of this, right, which I've done, I always have done, right? If you, the instant you come off the pad, you're losing tracking. And you might have some issues adjusting to that, especially if you're super low sense. You may. I'm at 43 centimeters, I want to say. Is that 17 inches? One of those. If you want to click something and have it really feel like you're really pushing, I'm doing that, like die, mother. Oh, and you want to click, this is your mouse. This is not going to actuate as fast as other mice. Is that the end of the world? No. Is it conceivable that there's a situation in a tournament where there's $700,000 on the line and both of you push the button at the same exact time, but some other dude has a faster switch and you lose and therefore have to work at Taco Bell? That is possible. The wheel, I don't have any issues with it, except for pushing it takes quite a lot of force. Again, that's probably the metal aspect. It goes with the whole theme. It takes a lot of pressure to push all these buttons, especially when your right button is actually broke. They sent me an email acknowledging the problem and giving me some instructions on how to fix it myself. So I'm going to attempt to do that. If it doesn't work, they said they'd gladly take it back, fix it, and send it back to me. The clicks on the side are actually very responsive, very tactile, and these are probably my favorite buttons on the entire mouse. The wheel scrolling has very good clicks, a lot more tactility than the previous version, the Ultralight-2. I actually really like the grooves. I know some people don't. I think it adds some texture to your murderous rampage, gives you a little bit more control. The DPI button goes in steps of 400, 800, 1600, and 3200. I like to stay at 800 because I don't want to go out of my comfort zone and feel fear. So I was hoping the medium was going to just be my end game. But for me, this just doesn't compare to this. About 5-6 grams according to the numbers. But when you feel it, it is a different size of mouse. I want to get used to this. I really do. I want to be part of the cool kids club. Small Starlight-12 gang. I'm sure I'm not the only person who bought this thing, put the skins on it, and got used to it. In fact, I've seen a lot of people with the skins on the right or left side because, again, 19 or 11 centimeter width on my hand makes for a party. I'm actually surprised that Finalmouse doesn't include a couple of these skins in their packaging. Even just the side ones. Small's just too damn small. As I've said, I use the Ultralight-2 with this thing, and then I even added the other one just for funsies, but this one was Mando. And that's what we're gonna do here. Oh, got a little flicking. That's fun. So let's go ahead and put this skin on here if you guys can see. Now I'm used to the Infinity skin because I've been using this, but it is a little weird. It's kind of interesting. It definitely changes my ability to grip the mouse in a positive way, but my mind is not liking this separation here. Nothing's perfect in life, folks, except for me. Was diagnosed with narcissism, but I told the therapist to suck it down. Me and John Romero have the same therapist. And here it is again on the Ninja Artisan Zero Extra Soft. I like to test mouses on a bunch of different mouse pads, get a different sense of how they run, get a little bit closer to it. You get to caress it and hold it and snuggle with it. And both my smalls have a flex. I feel it when I'm in a high pressure scenario and I'm putting pressure. The Ultim base is not nearly as strong as the metal. So if you're like I used to be and you throw mice against the wall, don't do that with this. I lost many IntelliMouses, a few Death Adders. I know one Abyssus got hammered. I bought a 5-pack of the Logitech MX500. You guys might not know what that is. It was a variant of the MX518. Great mouse, and it had a little metal plate in it that you would take out to reduce the weight. But I bought a 5-pack because they were cheaper. You could overclock the hertz. This is all old school stuff. But in any event, 5 was the right number. Because of the metal construction, there's some pre-travel. And that means that when you're applying pressure, you see how I'm slowly applying pressure? The way the pressure of life just builds and builds on your shoulders until finally it does use the Omron 20s, which are quick and good, but not as quick and as good as it could be. The sensor is the final sensor. In case you didn't know, when you free think at this level, you can't have a sensor. You have to have a final sensor, which we don't know what it is. It feels like a variant of the 3389, but I would love to know the specs, if they are indeed quite unique and special. One thing that's really fascinating is that all 3 of my copies have a different tactility to them, a different feel of the clicks. The medium actually feels by far the most refined, the quickest. The build quality doesn't have a creak in the side. Everything about this feels better built, and I don't know if that's because it came out later These came out first. These took a few weeks to come out after. And maybe they fixed some things in the factory. I wish my smalls had the same exact quality of this. Whoa. Whoa. This is serious. I got a product here that's going to take the gaming world by storm. Extremely hard to get. You know what I had to do to get this thing? We're going to unbox it together. It's a digital food scale. Before this thing, you had to just play your game, not even knowing exactly how much your mouse weighed. You had to just play the game, like for fun, without nitpicking the grams of the mouse. Pfft, we've come a long way, haven't we? I think so. We're gonna unbox it together. Let's check it out. The moment of truth when we find out if all that paleo keto crap paid off. All right. The Achilles, small, Starlight-12. 45 grams, wow. Small, white, Zeus, 46 grams. Does have an infinity skin on it though. That's probably the gram difference. Here we have the 50 gram medium. I mean, really though, to think that the difference between the small and the medium is 4 grams, that's crazy. Now the next up competitor, the Superlight, on my scale says 60 grams. And then we jump to the very heavy Razer Viper Ultimate at 77 grams. For comparison's sake, let's put on the Ultralight with the 2 Infinity skins that I've been using for a year. And we're at 54 grams with a little cord. So the M2K, which is supposedly 24 grams, is coming soon. And I cannot even mentally imagine what 24 grams would feel like. Hopefully as light as a feather and turns me into the headshot machine of yore that I used to be before I became old. It's nice to use a scale for something that's not illegal. So, just want to give you guys some size comparisons. I'm sure you've seen this elsewhere, but this is the Superlight. It's one of the most famous mouses to be used. It's a fantastic piece of equipment. Now, as you can see, it has a higher hump. So if you're a palm player, a little bit more of a claw player, you're gonna have that feeling here. And you're gonna be able to get a really good grip on it. I've been using it, I like it, and that's the shape here. Now you compare that to the medium, which is the general competitor, because a lot of you are probably wondering, I already have this. Do I need to donate a kidney to get this thing? And here's the size comparison. Now, I can give you the measurements, or you can probably look them up, but essentially, in the hand, this one feels quite a bit more substantially large because of the, if you guys can see that, the hump here is so much higher. So you get much more of a grounded, smash to the ground feeling here. Then here you have that kind of egg shape. And really, there's no way to tell you what's best. This is literally impossible. You know, you're gonna like one shape or another. Your finger, everybody's fingers are different. You know, mine is 19 by 11, I have a very wide hand. I used to play palm. I kind of evolved from palm into claw, and then I got into more of a claw. And there we come to the fingertip aspect of me now, is since I've been using this thing for over a year, I really have become accustomed to a very flat to the mousey, and my grip has become more like this. And I find myself doing shots like that, which is a fingertip kind of thing. Is it any better? Who knows? I'm not going to sit here and argue what's better, because I think there's some guy out there with a 90-gram palm grip that's just owning fools regarding feet. Look at this thing. Have you seen this? That's a lot of Teflon. That's a lot of tire. Creates a very controlled feeling, but, and this is all preference, I generally prefer the 4 separate feet over the giant feet. Life is like a box of Starlight-12s. You never know what you're gonna get. And that's really unfortunate. You might get a misaligned scroll wheel, you might get a broken right click, you might get a weird pingy twanginess when you put your mouse on the pad, which my small white has. But if all of them were of the quality of my medium and you like the shape, I'd say go out and get one. Spare no expense. I mean, even with all the competition. And Zeiss Rail, which is an amazing piece of machinery, plus it has lights and isn't $450. But more importantly, the lights, which you can't win without. Clearly this is a labor of love. And it needs to get into the hands of the gamers and not some pricks on eBay selling Yeezys and Finalmouse for profit. Let's get a Q system like EVGA has, or some serious anti-bot technology. These need to be in the hands of gamers so they can stay Zorz. Now the mouse, it's not perfect. The click latency isn't that great. The lack of bindability on the DPI button, the micro USB being micro USB, there's lots of room for improvement. Personally, I'd love to see optional switches that you could order from the factory, more availability, an atheist version or maybe a heretic version that's pure metal, maybe even make it 2 grams lighter to be especially cool. Because I am not someone who expects perfection though, and I know that they are doing their best to deliver the best, and nothing's perfect except for John and I. But their marketing campaign would have you believe that the gods themselves come down and gently place them in the box and then delay the shipping. That's why we grade them on a curve. Now, in my opinion, the Ultralight 2 was just outclassing the competition without a shadow of a doubt. And as much as I poke fun of the skins, they're actually pretty cool and very innovative and allowed so many more people to use a mouse that they would have not been able to. And it was new, it was awesome, and it was cocky as hell, which is what Finalmouse is all about. And the pursuit of perfection will never end. It's a deeply personal experience. But there is no doubt that creating the lightest, wireless, longest lasting battery mouse ever is quite a godly feat. And in 2 sizes. I mean, look at this thing. Everything about this is a work of art, and everybody who's seen one in person is in awe. I mean, these are the 3090s of mice. You pay a lot more to get a little better, but they're the best in its class. And as much as you may not like their marketing and you don't like their business practices, they are indeed Zorz. I can't lie, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in, because this product is the one that got me reinvigorated on my love of peripherals. It had to be first on Zorz Gaming. Now, I don't know about you, but on November 8th, I will probably, unfortunately, be there, smashing F5, ready to use my 25 years of aim god skills to try to get their new release, the Phantom Goddess. And if the gods smile upon me, I'll most likely be using a Finalmouse to click checkout. Now, if you like this content, press like. If not, I'm kidding. I'll have a ton of more videos. I'm pretty crazy. Leave some comments. Tell me what you want me to check out. The most important thing you can do to remember, you must stay Zorz. Mr. Romero, I'm sorry. I really actually am a big fan. Please don't make me